We have to stay awake.
I hate niggas that's just too woke.
Welcome to my little party in your honor.
You okay?
Nah, man. I'm pretty fucking far from okay.
Is snakes out there this big?
Hey! Y'all trying to study me?
Stop fucking with Korean Jesus. He ain't got time for your problems.
Gangbanging never die.
He busy with Korean
Too much
shit.
love.
What country you from?
You always gonna get niggas
What
like
ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
Damn. How many more motherfucking penitentiaries y'all gonna build?
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
How many jars you gonna try to put us in? You know what I'm saying?
Say what again? Say what again?
St. Paul told us in the letter to the Galatians, let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart.
Submit yourselves to your masters with all respect.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far.
You listen to him, and you might just make it into heaven.
Amen.
What the fuck is going on? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ghetto Woke Podcast. This that nigga Big Boy reporting live once again. And then you know me, I'm just sitting around chilling, enjoying my little good old day before I gotta go back to work. And I'm noticing a lot of shit going on in the world. They done fired motherfucking Omarosa. Goddamn Omarosa. First the nigga fired you on the TV show. Now the nigga fired you in real life. I think Donald Trump is one of the smartest motherfuckers walking around. Just for the simple fact that he made a reality show, actual reality. He basically doing the same shit to motherfuckers out here that he did in his motherfucking TV show, and everybody sitting around looking dumb and shit. And what was just so fucking hilarious to me, I call these bitches the Hilary Clinton bed wenches. Bitches like Angela Rye, April Ryan, you know, bitches like that. These basically these Democratic politician bitches. I put all these bitches in the same category as Hillary Clinton's bed wenches. But what I'm starting to notice with this Omarosa situation is now people are starting to criticize the White House for firing her, even though they've been talking shit about her since she's been working in the office. And that's just kind of funny to me. Now they starting to ask, where's all the black people in the White House and shit like that. But this whole time Trump been president, all the black people, especially the black politicians, been sitting here bragging about how they not gonna fuck with the nigga. So basically, y'all asking a nigga that y'all are openly and publicly protesting that y'all don't fuck with. Now y'all asking that nigga why he don't fuck with black people. I wonder, it's probably because y'all niggas don't fuck with him. I mean, this is a syndrome that I noticed with a lot of fucking people. And just being a nigga in the hood and shit, I noticed this with a lot of black bitches. Like, a lot of black bitches, they'll do shit like this where they'll sit there and talk shit about you, talk shit about black men, and do all this shit all day long. But as a solution, when a black man decide to go somewhere else and fuck with a bitch from another race, now the bitch got a problem with the shit. I see this shit a lot. And it's like, I thought y'all wanted me to fix the problem. Like, I hear a lot of black women complaining about black men and we ain't shit and all this. But when we say, okay, we ain't shit, we'll go fuck with somebody who think we worth a damn, and then we go fuck with them, now it's a fucking problem. Now y'all got a problem with us being happy with a female from another race when y'all openly decided not to fuck with us. I mean, I see this all the time. It's plenty of niggas in the hood that had their opportunity to fuck with a certain female, and then that female never gave a nigga the time of day. Then the nigga end up going to fuck with another female, probably from a different race, probably from the same race. that holds that nigga up to a higher value. And it seemed like some women get mad, like, why are you treating him good when I was just fine treating him like he wasn't shit? But I see this shit happening a lot, especially in the black community. I mean, the shit might happen in the white community, but I don't live in a white community, so I don't know. I mean, but I see shit like this happening a lot where, like in Omarosa's position, this bitch got clowned by the entire black community for the entire time she been working in the fucking White House. Now she get fired or resign, whatever the fuck she say. Now you got all these black people that's out here like clowning her, like, oh, that's what you get, and woo, woo, woo. But in my mind, coming from the perspective I'm thinking of, I'm like, this bitch was making $180,000 a year. Like, I don't give a fuck about being fired if I was making $180,000 all year. I mean, like, really, I'm straight. I can pretty much get another job. I really ain't toe back. Like, I'm noticing this trend going around where it seems to be better if that person becomes publicly embarrassed or publicly persecuted rather than a person actually getting a crime. Now, it's kind of like what's going on with these sexual this sexual assaults and rapes and shit that's going on in Hollywood and in Washington, D.C. Matter of fact, Al Franken and a couple of motherfuckers just stepped down from their positions just because of all of the sexual harassment shit going around. But one thing I'm noticing about this sexual harassment is a lot of the dudes that's stepping down from their positions or getting fired from certain companies, they not really facing no criminal charges. And I'm wondering about that. Like, it seems to be women being the ones pushing this narrative forward that everything needs to be shaken up and people need to pay attention to what's going on with all this harassment and sexual assault and shit. But y'all not really pushing for these motherfuckers to go to jail. So at the end of the day, they getting away with a fucking crime. Because let me tell you this, these motherfuckers got money already. So they already rich. And none of the things that's happening is really taking away none of the money they already have. It's just stopping future money that they may get later. But if the nigga already rich, I mean, shit, taking that future money that they possibly getting ain't really doing too much if the nigga's already rich. Look at niggas like Kevin Spacey and that Hollywood dude that Terry Crews got in trouble. That motherfucker only went off for a month and he right back at work like business as usual. And then look at the situation with Kevin Spacey. Like, if he actually assaulted people, why isn't he going to jail? This shit is just kind of fishy to me. Like, I think that due process should be fully done. And part of my thinking is that all of these women are accusing all of these men because they see that they're getting fired and basically losing everything they have currently, basically future money they have coming in, not future money they have, and then that's just enough. It seems like that because I think it's because the statute of limitations has ran out. So basically, they just trying to get what they can get out of these guys. And that's really a problem I see going on in this country. Like, we need to really figure out a way for it to be stricter laws for things like sexual assault and rape. And also, it needs to be a due process going on to where we can actually figure out who did what and if this person was doing. And I'm not saying the current legal system that we got right now is working, because it absolutely is not. It's really horse shit. And it needs to be basically revamped and repaired and reconstructed. We just need to have a reconstruction period where we revise all these government positions, where all of this tax money is going. We need to sit back and actually look at where is this money going and how is it being spent? And is there any way it can be spent in a better manner? We need to think about that type of shit. Because really the way it's going with this legal system, a lot of these dudes that's raping bitches and fucking sexual assaulting bitches and doing all this type of shit to females, these niggas ain't really going to jail. They just getting like kind of publicly embarrassed and shit like that. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at it like, if the nigga's still rich, he's still gonna be able to get some pussy. Niggas like Harvey Weinstein, it ain't over for him. It might be over for him in Hollywood. But he was never a production guy anyway. He was just a dude that fronted money for movies. I mean, basically all he did was lose his shot at getting that top-notch pussy under contract. But at the end of the day, he could still trick for that pussy. He's still gonna be able to get hoes just because he rich. You gotta understand that type of shit. Harvey Weinstein, yeah, he's out of the spotlight. That's all people are doing is taking him out of the spotlight. Dudes like Kevin Spacey and all that type of shit. But if these motherfuckers really did a crime, these motherfuckers really need to go to jail. That's just how I feel about the situation, period. I mean, it's really just bullshit. Then you got people that like supposed to represent black people. You could say Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, but Angela Rye and April Ryan, they're really like the modern day versions of that. Black politicians that white people put on camera as the voice of black people. Which they really ain't the voice of black people because they not blue collar black people. The majority of black people as a whole are blue collar. And they basically use like these, I call them cake eater ass niggas, basically that upper middle class, came from a good home, had a mommy and a daddy, probably went to college, got a college education, and they basically the house niggas that's basically put in charge as the representative of black people, which most black people don't even know nothing about politics. So these people like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Angela Ryan, April Ryan, they have the ability to manipulate black people's vote in a way that's going to keep them living a high dollar lifestyle. You got to understand that they're not doing it for black people. They're doing it so they can maintain the lifestyle that they're living in, usually live in white neighborhoods, go to lunch, stay in nice hotels, do all that type of shit, but they using black dollars and American dollars to do that. They just basically using themselves as a front for it's supposed to be a representation of the black voice, but at the end of the day, these motherfuckers don't know shit about real black people. These motherfuckers been around white people their whole life. And even if they was around black people, it wasn't the black people that represent the majority of the black people in this country. And people gotta understand that also. Like there's the majority of black people in this country are working class. Yeah, we have a high amount of middle class black people, but for the most part, black people are blue collar working class. And we don't really have any representation in Washington, D.C. or Hollywood. They basically lump us all in. That's how you can have females like Angela Rye talk for black people by just pretending to have a ghetto voice like she actually from the hood and pretend to talk slang and all this type of shit, but really she just collecting money from niggas. We basically look at her and look at people like her, April Ryan, even some people might look at Omarosa, but I don't see nothing through these fake ass bitches. Cause at the end of the day, these hoes ain't really giving a fuck about black people as a whole. These bitches are maintaining the lifestyle that they want to live. Like, you don't never hear them talk about real black problems or real black situations. They just bring out like textbook racism bullshit that they haven't even been through. I mean, that's one thing I noticed. I noticed that poor black people, we have the ability to talk about other black people in a bad light or a good light because we actually experience situations that are negative with other black people and less negative situations with white people. Whereas people like April Ryan, Angela Rye, these middle class black people, most of their experiences come in dealing with white people on a negative level. But don't get it twisted. For the majority, most of their experiences with white people are good. That's why they live around them, they live with them, they try to talk like them as best as they can. It's just a typical house nigga situation. A house nigga ain't finna go live by the field niggas. They gonna go live by massa. I mean, that's just point blank period. I mean, and I see this shit all the time, where you see situations where you have females like Omarosa. She was just basically supposed to be a token black girl supposed to be representing the black community, but I really didn't see nothing she was actually doing but being a puppet. But then I look at females like Angela Rye and I see the same exact thing. Like, she didn't even start talking bad about Hilary until Donna Brazile came out with a book about that shit. Now, come on, my nigga, how fake is that? You don't want to admit that you was one of the main motherfuckers caping for Hillary Clinton during her election. As soon as she lost, you turned your back on that bitch and keep that shit 100. I mean, that's just really what it is. Like, I look at all these fake-ass black people that they keep putting on TV to represent black people. CNN got it bad, too. You take niggas like Kamal Bell, and just because this nigga got an afro, he's supposed to be a nigga? Hell nah, that nigga talk white, that nigga from a white part of California, and that nigga got a white wife with some mixed kids. And that nigga be out there marching with Antifa and all that type of shit. If any real nigga march with Antifa for 5-10 minutes, they gonna realize that these some rich ass, fake ass white motherfuckers, and they gonna keep on pushing from that Antifa bullshit. I mean, straight up. Real niggas don't do that type of shit. Gang up on people and spray mace and all that shit. That's what Antifa do. And that's what niggas like Kamal Bell, Angela Rye, these is basically them middle class black people that the white media and the fake news and all that. I mean, it ain't just CNN. Fox News be on some fake ass shit too. But all these white media stations, they love putting these niggas on the goddamn camera and having these motherfuckers be the representative for black people, and at the end of the day, that's straight bullshit. These motherfuckers don't represent black people. These niggas ain't never been in the ghetto. These niggas ain't never been in the hood. And be fortunate of that shit. I hate when niggas that ain't from the hood try to act like they from the hood. It's like, my nigga, niggas in the hood, we don't want to be from the fucking hood. We want to be somewhere else living a happy, non-violent life. But it seems like these motherfuckers don't understand that. That's how I can tell a lot of you niggas is from the suburbs. Like Angela Rye, this bitch be having this old ghetto-ass hood voice when she on black stations and black networks. But as soon as she get on some serious shit talking with some white folks, then that bitch will hurry up and fix her English. But then she want to act all ghetto honey child, man. It's a straight front. And people need to pay attention to that shit. That these white people are putting these motherfuckers on that camera. And when I say white people, I don't mean all of the white people in America. I mean the racist motherfuckers and the punk ass motherfuckers that run these stations that's just 100% pure ignorant, like CNN. This old bullshit where y'all want to keep putting niggas where, okay, like Angela Rye. She obviously came from a good home, had good parents and all that type of shit. And every time I see this bitch on TV, this bitch acting all ghetto and shit. And I'm like, bitch, I know you not from the hood. You from Seattle, Washington. Yeah, some hoods around there, but you ain't from that motherfucker. Your daddy was a fucking civil rights activist and shit like that. I'm pretty sure that nigga brought you up in a good home. So I don't see why you acting all ghetto and shit to motherfuckers. That's total bullshit. I mean, niggas gotta pay attention to these fucking house nigga ass niggas that's out here walking around trying to impersonate black people, making us look like a fucking cartoon figure. I mean, come on, my nigga. You went to college. You obviously came from a good upbringing. Why don't you talk like it? And I don't mean talk all white proper, because I don't believe in none of that bullshit neither. But at the same time, my nigga, come on. Come on. I mean, think about that shit. We just sit here and pay attention to all these motherfucking niggas that's supposed to represent us, and then they clown us. Like, I'm watching Saturday Night Live, and they just made this nigga Michael Che the motherfucking, I don't know, they gave this nigga a high-ranking position at Saturday Night Live. I think he run that shit now. And everybody like, oh yeah, that's a black dude. See, they got a black dude running it. But I'm like, nigga, I know who Michael Che is. Michael Che a coon-ass nigga, too. He be on this podcast called Legion of Skanks with these fucking white boys saying nigger and all this type of shit in front of him, and that nigga just laughing like it ain't nothing. See, he just another nigga that's good at impersonating what the white people perceive a nigga to be. And like I say, I don't mean all white people. I mean the fucking mass media, basically portrays us to be something that we totally the fuck ain't. Like me, I'm a ghetto ass nigga, I understand that. But I know a lot of proper ass black people in the fucking hood that I want to be like, you know? I mean, I might talk the way I talk, I might be ghetto as fuck. It is what it is. But it ain't like a nigga trying to be better. It's not like I choose to be like this. I don't. You think I would want to be in the fucking hood and struggling and working and doing all that type of shit? Hell no. If I had a choice, I'd be doing a sit-down job like these motherfuckers just getting paid for nothing. Yeah, but life ain't that fucking easy. So it is what it is. So I gotta do what I gotta do. I go to fucking work, I pay my fucking bills, I do what I have to do in order to survive in this country. And then I see a lot of people just misrepresenting black people and thinking this shit is funny. It always turns into fucking comedy when they talking about serious subjects. But I noticed that even the black media got a problem with that shit. Like this nigga named Jordan Lucas, this nigga came out with this video called I'm Not Racist, but I think this motherfucker got like 13 million YouTube views. I mean, 13 million. More people that sat there and watched that video all week than people that actually watch CNN on cable. Literally. And ain't none of these motherfuckers, I mean, CNN did like a little quick thing on it. Everyday Struggle talked about it a little bit, but I noticed that like Joe Budden podcast, Breakfast Club, Everyday Struggle, people ain't really getting too in-depth into this conversation. They just basically blowing this shit off. And it's fucking me up because it's funny because all I've been hearing for the last couple years is how ain't nobody been rapping, ain't nobody been stepping their game up lyrically, ain't nobody been coming up to the plate, basically coming up to the levels of Tupac and all this shit. But then when I hear this I'm Not Racist shit, I'm like, damn, this nigga flowing like a motherfucker, spitting. He on point with the beat and all this type of shit, and ain't none of these fucking rappers talking about this shit. And that make me wonder. Cause I look at niggas like Noriega, who got Drink Champs podcast, and he got influence. But that nigga ain't talking about that shit. Then you got niggas like Snoop Dogg, who's supposed to be a good, up and standing black person who care about the black community. But this nigga just came out with a CD called Make America Crip Again. What the fuck type of shit is that? Do you know what gangbanging did to the black community? Do you know what gangs are doing to the black community right now as we speak? And this nigga just made a mixtape called Make America Crip Again? What type of shit is that, my nigga? I mean, you doing shows with Martha Stewart and supposed to be doing all this wholesome, positive, black shit, football coach, good father, but then you come out with a CD called Make America Crip Again? What type of shit is that, my nigga? I really don't get it. I mean, it seems like a lot of these black people that are older and supposed to be representatives of black people, it seems to me like they really pushing an agenda that's not conducive with the development of the black community. Basically, these niggas is going all the way against the black community to support their own agendas for their own money. Now, I can't hate on that shit But I do got a problem with it when you claim to be somebody that's supposed to represent for the black community. That's total bullshit, my nigga. I mean, everybody want to talk about Donald Trump, but I actually fuck with Donald Trump. Donald Trump one of the first niggas to start bringing up the Mexicans. And the Mexicans is the motherfuckers that's coming in our neighborhoods, taking our fucking jobs, bringing crime, bringing all that shit. And it seemed like every time I talk to somebody about that, they got a problem. But I notice a lot of people that's defending the Mexicans are middle class people. And what middle class don't understand is y'all get a lot of the good Mexicans. Y'all get the motherfuckers that's landscapers and the motherfuckers that's maids and shit like that. So these is like good good upstanding people that are basically taking care of themselves and handling their responsibilities. But understand, everybody that crossed that motherfucking border ain't upstanding. Everybody that crossed that border ain't looking to work legally. Everybody that crossed that border isn't coming to do something positive. I mean, being from the ghetto and part of the black community that really doesn't get shown on TV unless it's on Cops. I come from that area. And in that area, we see a lot of fucking illegal Mexicans that's on some bullshit. We see a lot of these motherfuckers that's on welfare. We see a lot of these motherfuckers at the jobs we work. They don't speak no English, so that right there automatically tells me that they not legal. I mean, you got a 45-year-old motherfucker that don't speak no English, and you mean to tell me that's an American citizen? Come on, that shit don't make no sense. Like, where the fucking laws that are fucking stopping these motherfuckers from hiring these motherfuckers? See, this is what gets me about the left. Y'all want to sit here and defend the immigrants and defend all the illegals and stop them from getting deported. But I'm wondering, are y'all keeping them here because they're cheap labor for y'all companies? I mean, y'all do claim that's what the Republicans do, but I'm starting to notice that a lot of Democrats are business owners too, and they also actually hire a lot of these motherfucking immigrants. And I take high offense to that shit because I've been a Democrat for a long time. And it comes to a point where I got to start looking at the Democrats funny now because it seems like y'all are supporting immigrants and illegals over actual American Democrats. Or just people that aren't even Democrats or Republicans. Because a majority of the black community is neither. A majority of the black community is undecided when it comes to politics. So really at the end of the day, the Democrats is winning off of the backs of many Democrats. I ain't gonna say Republicans because there ain't that many black Republicans, but it's a lot of black people with no political affiliations that just vote Democrat just cause. And that's a big problem too. We need to start paying more attention to our vote that we have and direct it towards somebody that's actually in our best interest instead of this being just like a fight against the right. Because that shit really kicking our ass right now. I mean, basically we getting slack from the right and the left, black people as a whole. I mean, look at the black Democrats, look at the black Republicans. Neither one of them are doing anything for the black community. At the end of the day, we just getting used. We getting used by the churches. We getting used by a lot of motherfuckers. It's because we're not asking no questions. We showing blind allegiance to a particular political party. And we don't even know why the fuck we doing this shit. I mean, we need to start paying attention. I mean, maybe if black people would start fucking with Donald Trump and asking him questions and having meetings with the nigga, we might be able to get something done. But until that, it's all bad. These fucking Democrats ain't doing shit for black people. Neither is the Republicans. And I'm not even asking for nothing free. I just want equal representation under the motherfucking law. There is no reason that an illegal immigrant from Mexico should have more rights than an American citizen. And what do you mean when I say more rights? Well, let me break this shit down. If you're an American citizen and you commit a crime, then you probably gonna end up becoming a felon. And it's gonna be a set upon debt that you have to pay this country back. Okay, let's say you go to jail or don't go to jail, do probation. Either way it go, you pay your debt back to society. Okay, first of all, you're gonna have that crime on your record. And it's gonna limit you from certain job opportunities and shit throughout your life. But take that same Mexican illegal. That same illegal Mexican commits the same exact crime as an American citizen. He gonna go to jail, but then they gonna deport his ass. And then that motherfucker gonna bring his ass right back over here under a new identity. Immediately, fucking slate clean. No more felonies, no more problems. He can go get any job he want. Motherfuckers come over here and then they end up making more money than actual American citizens that are working just as hard as they are. And then they say, oh, Mexicans work hard. Nigga, Americans work hard. We work hard because we come from the hardest working country. I'm tired of the middle class being compared to the entirety of America. And that's total bullshit. The middle class is a large amount of America, but you also got to look at the poor and working class also. We represent, I'd say, the largest chunk of this country. And we're severely underrepresented, man. Ain't nobody speaking for the poor motherfuckers. Ain't nobody speaking for the motherfuckers that go to work every day and just trying to find a better way. I mean, it's like we get no representation. And then when you take these black politicians and all these motherfuckers, they don't give a fuck. All they doing is using us for our money. Like this change for change shit with Harry Belafonte. Yeah, they doing this change for change, but when they get to breaking down what is all this money going to, they start talking about marches and protests and all this type of shit and salaries for their employees. They basically using money to fucking keep their pockets right. I mean, you got females like Linda Salsor who are fake ass Egyptian saying, nigga, I don't know what this bitch want to be, but the bitch got an accent like she from the hood or something. And the bitch walking around with a hijab on and all this type of shit, trying to get these immigrants to come over here. But what this bitch don't understand is you can't go over there, Linda Salsor. Let your ass go over there and live in them countries for a little while. Your ass ain't gonna be able to drive. Your ass ain't gonna be able to talk back to a nigga. You ain't gonna be able to do none of that shit that you can do over here in America. I'm really getting tired of these motherfuckers talking shit about this country and they having so much fucking freedom in it. I mean, at the end of the day, that's just total bullshit. I mean, you take Tamika Mallory and that rapper nigga, My Son or whatever. These niggas ain't talking about nothing. They just like another generation of Talib Kweli's. These is like middle class black people that went to college and all that type of shit, can go get a good job, but now they mad because they went to college, they went and got the degree, they went and did all that shit, but at the end of the day, they want to have the same position as a white man without doing none of the work that these white men is doing. I mean, like, come on, motherfucker. Niggas want to talk about white privilege all day long, but they don't understand that 70% of welfare usage is used by white people. It's a lot of poor motherfucking white people in this country that debunks the whole entire white privilege thing. But motherfuckers don't want to speak about that because it destroys your entire fucking narrative. And that's what niggas gotta start doing. Niggas gotta start evolving. Niggas gotta start learning. Niggas gotta start growing. Because if you don't grow, man, come on, my nigga. You gonna stay in the same spot. That's why a lot of these black activist niggas is talking about the same shit that Martin Luther King talked about. And that shit really bugged me sometimes. Because it's like, my nigga, it has changed a little bit. Now, I ain't saying racism gone, but come on, my nigga, racism is not overt anymore. If it's on overt, it's in the internet or it's in some rare instance out in the street. But for the most part, racism is covert than a motherfucker. If you a black motherfucker that work hard, you can pretty much, in some instances, get further than a lot of motherfucking people just based off the fact that you work so much. I mean, people don't pay attention to that type of shit. Like me, I know I'm a felon. I'm fucked. I mean, I work harder than a motherfucker at my job. But that don't mean nothing. I'm not finna go up nowhere because my boss gonna always look at me as a fucking felon. He not gonna look at me as like a person with capabilities of intelligence. It don't matter if I got 150 IQ. I still got a felony on my record. And then at the end of the day, my felony is for some weed. And that shit legal in a bunch of other states. So, I mean, a nigga getting the short end of the stick, but I ain't tripping. I be a nigga with a felony and all that type of shit. But I'm not finna just sit here and be quiet when it's thousands of Mexicans coming across over here, felony free, being able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And then even if they do get a felony, they could just go back to Mexico, come right back and be a whole different nigga. People don't understand that shit. But I mean, coming from where I'm coming from, we realize that it's always a Mexican that got the fucking dope. Like, motherfuckers that sit there and say the CIA brought cocaine into the hood and all that type of shit, my nigga, nah. Y'all might have gave it to the Mexicans, but they the ones that distributed that shit. And they brought that shit to the black community. It wasn't no motherfucking CIA. It's straight illegal Mexicans. My whole life selling drugs. Every time I bought coke, I bought it from an illegal Mexican. A motherfucker that barely speak English, so you know that nigga ain't from here. And the motherfucker always got that dope. I mean, that's just how it is. Motherfucking illegals is the ones that's distributing all of the cocaine and marijuana across the country. Because they already got a pre-established pipeline that's been going on since the beginning. I mean, come on, my nigga, this has been their country. Where you think that shit going? I ain't never bought no coke from no CIA agent. I ain't never bought no coke. I ain't never bought no dope from no white dude. Come on, my nigga. I mean, literally, the rap group, the Amigos, they named themselves after the illegal Mexican connect that they had. Why niggas ain't paying attention to this type of shit? I mean, I'm not hating on Mexicans. I mean, there's a lot of good fucking Mexicans in this country, but I'm talking about the legal one. Now, the illegal motherfuckers, I ain't even saying y'all motherfuckers gotta get cracked, because I know y'all not gonna get cracked because it's already too sweet for y'all over here. And then a lot of these companies and corporations is benefiting off y'all existence. So I know it's not gonna stop right there. It's gonna have to be some type of laws, stricter enforcement, shit like that. That's the only way things is gonna actually change for the better. I mean, until then, it's just gonna get more fucked up and more fucked up. And then, like I say, in my opinion, I think this is the fall of Rome. I think letting in so many people from different countries that don't adapt our culture and that don't absorb the American way, they maintain their culture from their country, that's going to be the end of our country. Because the more we keep appeasing these people and doing whatever the fuck we doing with them, the worse it's going to get for more Americans. Like, they done came to the point where they don't even want to deport Mexicans no more, even though they know these motherfuckers came over here illegally. I mean, this shit crazy. Like, I understand these motherfuckers got a shitty-ass country, they government fucked up, and then building this wall shit, see, that's like a short-term solution. That's like putting a Band-Aid on a motherfucking stab wound. I mean, that shit ain't really gonna do nothing. I think at the end of the day, what America need to do is go and jump in and invade Mexico, man. We need to take over Mexico. They got plenty of beachfront property and farmland that we can utilize for this country's growth. And then shit, we can alleviate that Mexican problem. We go over there, take over their fucking corrupt ass government, fix their water, then I feel like we can actually do something more than what we doing now. Because at the situation it is currently, it's fucked up, my nigga. I mean, niggas want to bring up a race war, but at the end of the day, I think a race war going to be between the actual American citizens, the blue-collar, poor, working-class American citizens, going against these foreign motherfuckers. And the people at the top just going to sit there and watch and wonder what's going on. Why is this happening? You're going to see this shit on CNN, like, what the fuck's popping? But I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that's left that can actually fucking happen. Because obviously, the politicians on the right and the politicians on the left don't give a fuck about black people. I mean, Kanye wasn't playing when he said Bush don't give a fuck. And y'all think because he's shaking Trump's hand, he a coon? Nigga, please, everybody want to bring up this racist shit with Trump, but all that nigga did was didn't let some niggas move in his apartment complex. I don't give a fuck about that shit because obviously if it was a Trump condominium, them motherfucking niggas had some money. So why would you even want to live somewhere where you know the nigga don't want you living there anyway? Why would you protest that shit? That shit don't make no sense. You just trying to get attention. That's all it is. It's like middle class and upper class rich black people mad because they can't live at the same status as a white man. But why don't y'all go build y'all own shit, then y'all can live however the fuck y'all want to live. I mean, it ain't Donald Trump's job to make sure that all of the people purchasing condos at his shit is a certain color or whatever. I mean, it is fucking what it is. If them niggas don't want you living there, then don't fucking live there. Why would you even want to live there anyway? I sure the fuck wouldn't. I mean, I ain't riding Trump's dick like that. I don't want to stay at the nigga's place. I don't want to stay in no fucking apartment building ran by a nigga that don't like me. I mean, even if he don't like black people. But he actually fooling me because a lot of his policies and shit benefit black people, but we just can't see it. We didn't jump in. And it ain't even us that done jumped in. It's really the middle class and upper class rich black people that done jumped in with the sand niggas and the Mexicans and all that shit. And what it is it's the Democrat liberal motherfuckers. They gotta go get bodies for their army somewhere. And they don't care who they go get. And they actually recruit motherfuckers that are enemies to the United States. They people that live here because of the better lifestyle and benefits. But just because them people are utilizing our benefits and our better lifestyle don't mean they have loyalty to this country. These people got loyalty to their own cultures. Their own cultures. That's who they got loyalty to. They ain't got no loyalty to no motherfucking niggas. Come on, my nigga. Think about that shit. These motherfuckers is moving into their own communities and forming their own communities separate from America. They don't give a fuck about us. They just over here because it's sweeter. The country that black and white Americans and Mexican Americans and Chinese Americans built, this country that was built by us is now being utilized by people that aren't from here. They just coming and living a lovely life. Because basically we setting rules that make it easier for a foreigner than it is for an actual American. Now, Donald Trump didn't actually address that shit in a couple different ways, and people keep paying attention to the fact that this nigga supposedly is a rapist. Okay, I'll G for that because I hate rapists. But show me some proof. Show me some evidence. Show me somebody that's going to convict that nigga. Not just some females that's trying to get a check. Come on, my nigga. I mean, it just don't make that much sense to me. And I mean, even if the nigga did do the shit, impeach the nigga. Stop bitching about the shit. Y'all niggas got to shit to get off the pot on this type of situation. I mean, if y'all want to take this rapist shit real seriously, why aren't all of the politicians forming together and creating legislation that get Donald Trump out of that seat? It's probably because y'all motherfuckers don't have no proof. And probably because the people that's speculating what they speculating ain't really giving y'all honest portrayal of the situation that's going on. Like this Roy Moore motherfucker. I'm glad Roy Moore lost. But all I hear is 97% of black women voted for Jones and got him in office, and look how strong the black vote is. Yeah, but y'all gotta understand, black bitches don't give a fuck about the black community. If they gave a fuck about the black community, they wouldn't spend $10 billion a year on just their hair alone. Not counting clothes, not counting nails, not counting that. I think it was either Mercedes-Benz or BMW was purchased mostly by black people this year in America. 13% of the population and bought more BMWs and Benzes than any other race. What kind of shit is that? That clearly shows you that black people are dedicated to white objects, to white toys, and to things that are considered white status symbols. Black people embrace those things before they embrace their own community. And it's a lot of black people like that. I mean, I understand it's a lot of poor black people that are self-righteous and all this type of shit. But I think if they got that money, they'll switch up quick than a motherfucker too. I mean, that's just human nature. I understand that these people want to live a better life, but understand that these people that want to live a better life are the main motherfuckers complaining. It's because they moved to that neighborhood. They get that house, they get that BMW, and then they still a fucking nigga. That's what it is at the end of the day. You got a lot of these middle-class black politicians that are just bitching about white people and racism and all this type of shit. And at the end of the day, the only reason they doing that shit is because they can't achieve equal status with most white people. But you got to understand that a lot of these white people in this country have built a culture around, for themselves. They have built a society centered around them. Their activities, where they live, where they work, all this shit was built by them, for them, in mind. So any of these fucking niggas that want to sit here and blame white people for this and blame white people for that, if you really had a problem with it, you will build your own communities, you will build your own businesses. And you got to understand, you got to start from the bottom. Like, black people don't even know how to produce and grow our own food. We don't know how to farm. We don't know how to fucking hunt and gather. We don't know how to do none of the main survival things to live. Our whole entire life is dependent on the white people we keep complaining about. And that shit getting on my motherfucking nerves. I'm trying to figure out, like, what the fuck you niggas gonna do when white people finally say, okay, well, fuck y'all then. Then y'all really gonna have a fucking problem. Because then you're not accepted by the general mass of white people, and then you're not accepted by black people neither. I mean, at the end of the day, one day these black people gonna wake up and realize that motherfuckers like Al Sharpton and Jesse James, they been living around white folks their entire life. They've been living in upper middle class black areas that are surrounded by upper middle class white areas. It ain't just like, oh, y'all got loyalty from the hood because y'all done did so much shit. Hell nah, nigga. Soon as these white people say, fuck y'all, it's over with, nigga, because the black people ain't gonna stand behind y'all. Y'all motherfuckers ain't did shit for us. Y'all the motherfuckers living that nice lifestyle and doing all these things. But you gotta understand that eventually black people are gonna wake up and realize that we are too dependent upon this country. A country that clearly doesn't give a fuck about us. But also understand that we are in a great benefit by being in this great country. This country might not give a fuck about us, but I didn't say it wasn't the best goddamn country in the world. I mean, this motherfucking country is a great place for us to be able to grow and develop a foundation. But we have to start building it. We have to start creating economic opportunity for black people. I mean, it seems like we want to get up there and get rich, then we want to start talking about all people. But when we poor, we all down for black people. It's just basically a hypocritical thing I see in our community that needs to stop. Like, we embrace drug dealers, but we don't embrace niggas like Ben Carson. And I grew up with niggas like Ben Carson on my Black History flashcard. But niggas don't remember that this nigga's like the best brain surgeon ever in the world history. Happened to be black and happened to be a fucking American. Niggas straight brush past that shit and want to clown a nigga because he a square nigga. That nigga's a fucking brain surgeon. Why y'all expect that nigga to act black as fuck like a ghetto stereotypical black person when this nigga been a brain surgeon his whole motherfucking life? That shit don't even make no motherfucking sense. Yeah, but, I mean, it's just things like Ben Carson, it's motherfuckers like Neil deGrasse Tyson, it's motherfuckers that's actually smart black people out here that's really gives a fuck about our community and has our community in mind, and it seems like we just don't pay no attention to these motherfuckers. And it just be making me want to scratch my motherfucking head sometimes. Because I'm like, who is we really down for? Is we down for our own people? I mean, the first thing we gotta do is stop the fact that single mothers are raising all of the fucking criminals. I mean, niggas gotta pay attention to that shit. And I'm not taking the accountability away from the men. There's a lot of niggas that need to take care of their kids. But I also understand why a lot of these niggas is strained up, having things being made harder by the actual woman, the mother of their kids. You got a lot of niggas out here that's having to deal with a white system that is basically designed for them to fail in dealing with the mother of their children because they gave a woman all the power. So basically the man is in a position where if he doesn't submit to her will, then he in trouble. He probably ain't gonna be able to fuck with his kid, and he's definitely not given the opportunity to be the father that the kid needs. See, they need to pay attention to that part of it. Kids do need a father, and there are niggas out here that's willing to be fathers. But we need to bring jobs back. We need to give these fathers, put these fathers in a position to be able to take care of their kids. Because it looks like a majority of the jobs go to the women. So with how society is structured right now, it's structured for the man to be the housewife at the end of the day. In the black community, for sure. I mean, it's structured so that the man has to submit to the will of the female just because he decided to have a kid. So you basically are rewarding women for having children and then punishing black men for having children with black women. But if we go get us a white girl that's living in a good socio-economical environment, if we go get us a white girl in a good class like that, then we automatically got a better chance. And I feel like the system has designed it that way. So, I mean, my advice to the average black man is don't have no baby by no black female that ain't got nothing and don't want nothing. Fuck with somebody that can help you build and help you grow and put your kid in the best possible position you can put them in. Niggas need to learn that shit. That these bitches with all these kids and all these bitches with the attitudes and they want shit a certain way, fuck them bitches, but fuck them bitches with condoms. On some real 100 shit, and make sure you bring the goddamn condom. Stop getting these bitches pregnant. At the end of the day, these bitches don't want nothing but a baby. They're just providing criminals to fill up the prisons. Because at the end of the day, most of these kids is getting all they influenced by the woman that raised them. So if the woman that raised them ain't shit, they probably not going to be shit. Now, I was lucky enough to have a good mama, but I know a lot of motherfuckers that ain't lucky like I am. I mean, that's just 100. I mean, there's a lot of motherfuckers that wasn't blessed and born and fortunate to have good parents. And I understand that shit. And I feel like it's the government's job to alleviate a lot of that shit. But right now, it's looking like the government don't give a fuck. Because the government is getting all of the money off of this shit. They getting a lot of profit based off of the fact that a lot of these single mothers are raising criminals. And look at Chicago and a lot of cities like St. Louis, fucking Little Rock, Arkansas, New York, LA. It's a lot of fucking cities that got a lot of black kids dying because they raised by the wrong fucking parents. I mean, really, when is it going to get to a point where it's illegal to have a kid that you can't take care of? As soon as they make that situation a law, then we might be better off. But until then, I just really think we fucked. Because it's basically designed to be dependent on the system. If a woman does not have a good man in her life, she going to be dependent on welfare or Section 8 or whatever to help take care of her kids. Because you forget about insurance and daycare and shit like that. But at the end of the day, that right there takes all of the power away from the man. Basically, the female isn't dependent on the man, and the man doesn't even have the ability to be dependent on the female. That's basically splitting up the fucking homes and basically the destruction of America at the end of the day. And everybody want to blame it on marriage, but I don't think it's marriage because marriages aren't lasting as much. I don't think everybody is designed to go through a marriage. We aren't monolithic people here. I mean, 50% of marriages work out. Well, that shows you that about 50% of the people should be in monogamous relationships. But I also believe in relationship alternatives like polygamy and things like that that might well suit that other 50% of people that aren't compatible with marriage. You got to understand that everybody can't live the same way. Everybody don't praise the same God. Everybody don't eat the same food. Everybody ain't the same. You got to understand shit like that. But I don't know if motherfuckers hear me or not. I mean, at the end of the day, I just want to see people be happy and prosper in this beautiful country. But sometimes it just seems like motherfuckers don't give a fuck. I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. But I don't know. Them is my thoughts for the day about Hilary Clinton and her little Negro wenches that she got running around representing this Democrat shit, making us look bad than a motherfucker. Angela Rye, Maxine Waters, motherfuckers like that. They real emotional, they not logical, and they just basically loud and ghetto for no reason. And they just basically embarrassing black people as a whole. Like, I don't have a problem with being ghetto, but start talking about some truthful points and some things that's actually gonna help our community. And stop just trying to blame white people for everything. Y'all love blaming Trump for everything. But at the end of the day, Trump ain't affecting black people like black people affecting black people. You got to understand that type of shit. But it's on, everybody. I'll see y'all again another time. Thanks.